Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Jeremy R., the Kung Fu Guy, and I have a series of special videos I've recorded just to talk about back to school and how to help students achieve more, be happier, be healthier, be safer, be wealthier, and be wiser. So we're going to talk about study habits, we're going to talk about our own attitude, and we're going to talk about dealing with bullies. Welcome back ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about how to deal with a bully, part 2. This is dealing with actual strategies, dealing with a bully, whether it's a personal or a professional situation. Okay, so first step, bullies. Do you think bullies feel warm, big, and happy inside, or do they feel small, sad, and cold inside? Right. Chances are they feel like crap inside, they're trying to give it away to you. The problem is, when you feel like crap and you give it away, how do you feel? You feel like crap still. Right? Because whatever you feed inside here is going to grow and expand. And if you feed the crap in here, by giving it away, I'm creating room for more crap to come in and be developed, because I haven't fixed it here. Okay? So realize if someone's being a jerk to you, if someone's being a bully, they're saying mean things, they're doing mean things. Well, obviously if they're doing things, we need to handle that. That's a whole other level of explanation. But saying things, doing things to try to make you feel small, sad, and cold inside, first we need to realize, we call use our mind, first strategy. Why am I allowing this person to have that level of influence over me? See, for you to affect the way I feel, I have to care about what you say. Why do I care what you say? Because if you feel small, sad, and cold inside, then I realize everything you say is designed to help me feel the same way. You know what? I don't want to feel that way. Thank you. You're free to enjoy that yourself. See, when I realize somebody feels small, sad, and cold inside, I don't have to join them. I can make a choice to stay warm, big, and happy. So the first step is using my mind, keeping myself away from dangerous situations, dangerous people. You know, I got this buddy, and he's like always being a jerk. So why are you friends with him? Well, because he's like really, really funny when he's not being a jerk. Okay, and how often is he a jerk? Not on Tuesday? So what's the standards you set for yourself? Think about this for a second. Is this somebody that you're willing to go to bat with? Is this someone you're willing to really risk your life for? Because, you know, they took off the wrong person, that other person may come after the both of you together. I hadn't thought of that. So I should probably have like some standards for friends, shouldn't I? Something to think about. So as the idea for yourself, here's the deal. Basic guideline. Somebody in your life, should they do the right things or say the right things about you and about other people? Because here's the deal. Somebody lies to you about someone or gossips to you about someone. What do you think the chances are they're spreading your business around to other people too? Something to think about. Right? So to be your friend, they got to do the right thing or they got to say the right thing. Is that an either or type of question, or is that a both and type of question? See, for me, you've got to do the right thing and you've got to say the right thing. And if I have a friend or somebody close to me and they squirrel something up, we're going to have a conversation, make sure we're on the same page. But if they show me a second time that they're not doing the right things, or not saying the right things, second time, you know what, dude? We'll be friendly, but we're not friends. I'm not going to invite you to my house for cookies. I'm going to put them, and I might not tell them this, but I put them in a different space inside my head and inside my heart. I care about you, but I'm not going to let you have that level of influence over me anymore. Thank you. You're not part of my peer group anymore because you're not building people up, you're tearing people down. That's a standard I hold for myself. And does that mean that I don't have a lot of friends? Sometimes it does. But it means the people that I do allow close to me are quality people that I will go to bat for every single time. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? So that's the first step, use my mind. Second step, dealing with a bully. Somebody who's trying to help you feel small, sad, and cold inside. Notice I said, trying to help you feel small, sad, and cold inside. They cannot make you feel small, sad, and cold. They can't. Whatever somebody says, however ignorant and stupid it is, it can't make me feel bad unless I choose to care about what they say. Unless I choose to care about how they feel, about how I should feel. What? Why do you care about how I feel? It's my life. If I want to run my head into the wall, it's my life. I'm going to run my head into the wall. Boink. Used to do that, by the way. So, step number 1, use my mind. Step number 2 is use my words. I'm going to tell this other person what they can do. You know what? You can keep that to yourself. You know what? You can hold that opinion. You know what? Don't say those things around me. I'd appreciate that. You know what? Don't talk about people like that, because I don't need to hear it. I happen to know them. I think they're good people, so I'd appreciate you don't say those sorts of things. But I want to focus mostly on what they can do, and they can keep those opinions, keep those words, keep those conversations to themselves. I don't need to hear it. So I make it clear where the boundaries are in terms of our friendship. And you want to hang out with me? Great, I'm not going to do those things. In high school, I had friends that smoked, that drank, that did drugs. Guess what? They didn't do that stuff around me. Except for Jeffy, and he only smoked when he was driving in Chinese food, but it was out the window, and that was the only person. But otherwise, I didn't hang out with people that smoked, that drank, and that did drugs. It wasn't a part of my life. It wasn't part of me. Because for me, I was very, very judgmental when I was younger. But I lost respect for people when I saw them out of control. It made me feel bad to see people that were out of control and they needed something to make them feel better. They needed drugs, they needed alcohol, they needed sex, they needed something to help them get away from whatever it was they were feeling. Me personally, I just kind of like buried myself in what I was feeling and wallowed in it. So we each have our coping mechanisms. But it really hurt my heart to see them out of control. I lost respect for them. And I couldn't encourage them to change their behavior, so don't do that around me. Because I would always say something. So when they had those kind of parties, I wasn't invited. Made it pretty easy. When they hung out with me, we didn't do that stuff. And I had some friends that were pretty heavy into a few things. But not around me. Around me, they were normal and sane and stable. Or normal and stable and sane. Either way. But notice, I realized my whole life I've been a stabilizing element. I tend, most of the time, to help the people around me to be more stable and more focused and more disciplined and move things forward better. I tend to. I still have my squirrel. Sorry, I thought I saw a squirrel. I have my squirrel moments, right? I'm no saint. But as the idea over the large course of my life, what have I done is to focus on using my words, focus on what people should be doing around me, make it clear this is what I expect or what I appreciate. Okay? So step number 1 was use my mind. Step number 2 is use my words. Step number 3 is I use my legs. I leave. See ya. But as the idea, I relocate myself. If someone's being a jerk, if someone's being a schmuck, if someone's being whatever, if someone's being dangerous, not out of control, there's something I don't appreciate, I'm going to use my legs to change my proximity. See, proximity is power. I don't like you, but I hang out with you all the time. Do you really not like me? I don't like what you stand for, but I always stand next to you. That's kind of interesting. When I know someone's being a jerk, when I know someone's being a schmuck, then I'm not going to be around them. It's that simple. And when I have people say, hey, you should go hang out with this guy. You got the wrong opinion about him. He's totally this way. I say, you know what? I met him, worked with him in person, I've spent time with him, not my experience. End of conversation. Because I'm not going to put myself in an emotionally or physically dangerous space. Does that make sense? Yeah, but you got to like everybody. No, you don't. I can be friendly to everyone, but I don't have to be friends with everyone. I mean, that's a false thing that people tell us. You got to like everybody. No, you don't. There's some people that are complete and utter jerks. You need to stay away from them. Doesn't mean they're bad people, necessarily. Think about on a keyboard, you got 2 notes right next to each other, right? Play them. How does that sound? Yeah, really, really bad. But if you go over one note, how does that sound? Sounds kind of good. So is the idea that just realize this person and you, it may create friction. Them and somebody else, it may create harmony. You don't know. So it doesn't mean they're necessarily a bad person. Right? They may be dealing with things that you don't know about, but you hanging out with them is not safe for you. And whose safety should you worry about first? Should you worry about their safety first or your safety first? Because if you die in the process, who can you help? Right? Nobody. Make sense? So I want to use my legs to realize, where am I putting myself in proximity to? Who am I putting myself in proximity to? Yeah, it's really exciting to hang out with these guys because they're always like into all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah, and then maybe one of them gets in a car accident and kills somebody. Wonder why? Because they're doing crazy stuff. Right? It can be fun and it can be exhilarating, but it can also be life-threatening. And here's the deal. When you die, it's a one-shot deal. There's no kind of dead. Well, actually there is. It's persistent vegetative state. Right? Or you could do what happened to my mom. She fell and hit her head and she lost the ability to drive. Thankfully, she woke up, and thankfully, she's mostly the same person. Right? But sometimes younger people don't think about that stuff just because it's not in their experience yet. And that's okay too, because let them get bounced off the pavement and we'll see what happens. If they survive, they may learn something. Right? I only say may because some people, it takes a while for them to learn stuff. They got to get bounced a few times. And that's okay too at times. Okay, so, use my mind, use my words, use my legs. Number 4 is I'm going to use my words again. But I'm going to use them in a different way, because I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to find somebody who has dealt with the situation and created solutions. I'm going to find somebody at a higher level of energy and ask them a higher level of wisdom, a higher level of experience. For our younger people, right, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, go to your teachers, go to your parents. Come talk to me. Right? It's the idea, go to somebody in a position of authority who can get things fixed. I don't like it because Billy's next to me and he's always taking my stuff and he's poking me. Well, then don't sit next to him. But we have to because we're lunch buddies. Okay, well then just like tell the teachers what's going on and say, hey, sometimes Billy, he gets a little more powerful or a little more grabby than I would like, so could you keep an eye on us? Right? And you tell the teacher before lunch, that way the next time you're at lunch and you're next to Billy and Billy's being a schmuck, he's being not so much fun, the teacher notices, the teacher takes action. You did not rat Billy out. You just said occasionally, sometimes things happen, the teacher notices, the teacher takes action, that was the teacher's decision. Right? You don't have to rat anybody out. Just help the people in charge be aware, because their job is to make sure everyone's having fun and everybody's safe. That means you, and that also means Billy. Because if Billy's not realizing that he's doing things that help you feel small-sided cold inside, and when you tell him he's not listening, you're still going to end up feeling small-sided cold inside. So go talk to somebody that can get Billy or help Billy to understand. Make sense? And again, your safety comes first, because you can't help anybody else if you're not safe. So that's the idea. Ask for help. Get more people involved in a situation, not less. Well, I don't want to know my business. Think I can handle it. You can't handle it. That's okay. Right? I have very, very big goals and very, very big things that I want to achieve. Ain't going to happen by myself. One of them is I want to be a father. I'm not going to have kids by myself. God takes two. Right? So that's kind of how the game works. Ask for help. Get more people involved who can do something about it. Complaining to your friends that are the same level of energy and don't have any answers doesn't help. Same idea. If you're broke, don't go talk to broke people about your finances, because they'll tell you how to stay broke, or whatever it is they say. Don't do that. Do something different. So it's the idea, ask for help from somebody who can help, who is available, who has strategies, who has resources, who has answers. Does this make sense? So I use my mind first. I think about things. What are the standards? What do I expect from the people I call friends? What do I expect from the people I call acquaintances? Number two, use my words. Tell people what I expect. Tell people I don't appreciate that. If they care about you, they'll respect how you feel and they'll change their behaviors. If they don't care about you, they're going to say, this is who I am, take it or leave it. Great. Number three, use my legs. I'm going to leave it. Don't follow me. Number four, ask for help. And finally, when it comes to dealing with bullies, number five is physical. You've got to take action to defend yourself. That may mean file a restraining order. That may mean you get police escort. That may mean you hire a bodyguard. That may mean you move. That may mean you've got to use your physical body to handle things. Right? A lot of times parents will tell kids, don't start a fight, but if someone else starts it, you end it. What does that mean? How do I end it? I end it by making friends. I end it by becoming a doormat and doing everything I can to fawn over and please this other person. Right? We need more strategies than just say, you end it. Well, what does that mean? Because also realize we live in a litigious society. It's growing worldwide. You did something wrong that made me feel bad, and I'm going to sue you into oblivion. Because that fixes things. Really? So is the idea, when I take action, when I defend myself, file a restraining order, be aware of my strengths, don't go anywhere by myself. This is what I have to do, this is what I have to do, because my safety comes first. Right? It may mean have the physical skills. And what's really interesting, part of why I do martial arts and I'm as passionate as I am about it, what's really interesting is when you learn the skills of really how to punch and kick and hurt people, really destroy and damage, you don't want to do it. You don't need to, because you carry yourself different. You can handle getting hit once or twice, and it's like, it doesn't really, you don't know how to throw a punch, it doesn't hurt. So you can learn how to address certain situations, but you just carry yourself different. And what's funny is when you develop those physical skills, they roll backwards into when you ask for help, when you use your legs to lead, when you tell people what you expect, and when you use your mind, because you create a different standard for yourself and for the people around you. So you hang out with 5 losers, guess who's the 6th? You are the company you keep. So when you learn how to physically take control of your situation, take control of what's going on around you, I don't have to tear somebody else down for me to be strong. See, I can do push-ups and sit-ups and squats and pull-ups. I can use my own body, my own heart, my own mind to help me grow strong. But now I want to help other people. I've got to know how to bridge. I've got to know how to speak their language, not just mine. That was a big challenge for me when I was younger, is I looked at things completely different than people around me, and I never felt understood. And for a long time I sat there and I felt bad for myself. And then I started to study people and, well, let me figure out how to communicate to them. If they're not coming to me, let me go to them. Okay? So this ties back into being aggressive versus being assertive. Are you prepared? right? This is the biggest piece. The preparing is the biggest part. Are you prepared to ask those questions mentally? Are you prepared to speak up? Are you prepared to leave a situation? Are you prepared to ask for help? Are you prepared to defend yourself? Physically, legally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in your relationships? Are you prepared? Have you done your homework? If not, find someone to ask for help. You may know a guy. He may have a YouTube channel. He may have been doing this for over 17 years, since March 21st, 1995, but who's keeping count? Right? So this is really what this is about, is find answers. Rather than sit there and hem and haw and post messages on Facebook. Just so you know, these 2 videos, every time I see someone post about something on Facebook about bullying, I'll be posting these 2 videos and say, here, go get some solutions. Instead of saying, stop feeling this way and stop being this way, great, how? I've got some stuff, right? And in my parent coaching program, I've got even more stuff. So, we'll get into some of the physical tools at some point, but I want to share with you some key ideas. This one a little bit longer than I intended, but something I hope you can tell I'm a little bit passionate about it. It's something that a little bit comes very close to me. When I was younger, I didn't have a filter. So for me, everything was life and death. You said something to me that I didn't like, it was life and death. I was always under stress. I was always terrified for my life on a very deep subconscious level. I wasn't aware of it. I just felt this stuff. And so I would go banana monkey ape spit on people for nothing. I would rage out and tear things down and punch holes and yell and scream and verbally harangue people. Dude, you need to take a chill pill. But no one around me could realize or read what was really going on or had tools to address it. It's part of my study my whole entire life is to provide those tools and those strategies. So if you're dealing with a bullying situation, get help. Right? Go to number 4. If you know somebody, show them these videos. Engage them in conversation. Find ways to help them to feel warm, big, and happy. Right? I'll actually give you a series of strategies here in a sec, specifically deal with a bully. Right? I'll do it right now. Heck with it. So as the idea, realize bully feels small, sad, and cold inside. Great. Help them feel warm, big, and happy. It's that simple. Unless they are physically attempting to assault you, they are in the middle of the punch, they are in the middle of the grab, they've just shoved you. Unless they have physically assaulted you, which is actually technically battery if they touch you. Assault is when they threaten you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable and fear for your safety. Battery is when they actually touch you. That's why you never threaten to beat someone and beat them, you just beat them. But realize, talk to a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. I don't know the laws in your state or country. I just know my local area. But is the idea, unless they are physically putting hands on me, in which case I have to address that for my own personal safety, anything less than that, great. How can I help them feel warm, big, and happy? Hey, Twinkie, that's a stupid shirt. You're right, shirts don't have brains. That's a dumb haircut. You're right, my mom makes me wear it. What can I do? When I agree with them, they lose leverage. They lose whatever it is they want to say. I just agree with them. You're a cheese-eating surrender monkey. Yes, I am. I like brie. If I can get them to laugh, if I can align with them, because I realize not I'm doing this because I have nothing better or I'm worth less. I'm doing it because I realize they're suffering. See, human beings only give you 2 things. Either they give you love, a loving response, or they give you a cry for help. We never grow past being a baby. Wah, or coo. That's it. So if someone's being a jerk to you, it's because there's something in their life that's not in a warm, big, happy place. So help them if you can. Help them to feel warm, big, and happy. Remember, be prepared. Have strategies like watching videos like this. Help them to laugh. Help them to take an interest in them. They said something ignorant to you and you go, you know what? I heard you were good at soccer. What does he like about it so much? What's your favorite position? Who's your favorite player? Take an active interest in them. They might not think they're worth anything and they feel they've got to throw that away. So you redirect it, sidestep it, and come in and talk to them and ask them questions. Give them value. Treat them like they're a human being. And what happens? They get confused. Maybe they're being abused at home. You don't know. Maybe if you knew more of their story, maybe you could relate to them and go, dude, been there, done that. So as the idea, as you're working with people or you're engaging with people and they're just being absolute jerks, you can't understand it, create distance, walk away. But ask yourself, do they really feel warm, big, and happy inside, or do they really feel small, sad, and cold inside? What are they feeding? What are you feeding? It goes back to use our mind. Agree with them. Don't argue with them. Change the subject. Make them laugh. Find ways to shift what's going on. But it requires you got to be resourceful inside here. You've got to be strong inside here. You've got to feel you're worth defending. And you are. You deserve a quality life. Everybody on the planet does. Everybody deserves their room to breathe, to grow, to expand. So I encourage you, if you are in a situation that is dangerous, that is life-threatening, get out. Just start walking. There are resources. You can reach out to me, that's fine. I will help you find solutions. I'll help you find experts to talk to that are local to you. Whatever it takes. Nobody has a right to touch you without your permission. Nobody has a right to help you feel small, sad, and cold, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, in your relationships, personal, professional, or intimate. What I call the 6 dimensions of human consciousness. So I encourage you. This makes you laugh, this makes you angry, either way, post it, spread it, share it. This needs to get out. There's a world starving for answers, and a lot of the experts just say avoid the situation. Avoidance never solves anything. The only way to solve a problem, the only way to find a solution is to drive through it, not dance around. You've got to have the strength. You've got to feel you're worth it. I know I lived in a very small, sad, and cold place for over 20 years. All because of my own decisions, not because anybody threw it at me. There is a way out. Okay, so this went longer than I intended, but that's okay. The message is important. So you make it a fantastic day. Make it an outstanding day. And I'll see you when I see you. From my heart to yours.